And to drive home the lessons of our heart model, allow me now to go into this actual video. This is what I call my 10 leadership lessons in 10 seconds. This is an actual game. Philippines versus China. When they named me the head coach of the national team, our objective was simply to qualify for the Basketball World Championships, which was held in 2014 in Spain. And the last time the Philippines qualified was more than 4 decades ago. Can you imagine? 1974. No, not one of us was even born yet in 1974, right? And I get a big amen to that. Di ba wala pa pinapanganak sa atin noong 1974. But for sure, none of my players was even born in 74. So you can imagine this was an objective of lifetime significance. Here we are, basketball crazy nation of 100 million Filipinos, and we were not even competing in the sport's biggest stage. But we were fortunate enough in 2013 in the Asian Championships to qualify. We finished in second place. So now we have qualified to the World Championships. We are now on the road to the World Championships. The World Championship was held in August 2014 in Spain. This game was held in March or April 2014. One of the preparatory tournaments on the way to the World Championships. This game was held in, believe it or not, of all places, Wuhan, China. Yes, this game was held in the birthplace of the you know what. And we are playing the home team. We are playing for the only remaining trophy, the third place trophy, because both of us lost our semi-final match the night before. So we're playing for the only remaining trophy in this tournament, the third place trophy. This is a great example of health, of great physical health on the team of Gilas Filipinas. Why? Because you know us Filipinos, we're the cutest in Asia, right? We don't have the cell, except for now where our young kids are very tall. But at that time, we were really always the shortest team in the tournament. Yet, being the shortest team, we are now playing our 5th game in 6 days. And this is a remarkable example of being in great physical health, because every time we enter tournaments, our objective is not necessarily to win a championship. Our objective is to be the hardest working, best conditioned team in the tournament. My belief is that if we're the hardest working, best conditioned team, the winning will follow. That means we have to have the highest level of stamina and endurance. Dear leaders here at SNP, as you go about trying to achieve a plan for achieving your targets and your objectives for the year, I would submit it is equally important to ask yourself the question, what is the level of my team's stamina and endurance? More importantly, what is my own level of stamina and endurance as a leader? Do I have the stamina, the endurance to, even if I need to play 5 games in 6 days, even if I'm the shortest in the tournament, I can still put myself in a position to win. This is what Gilas is showing us, being the shortest team in the league, playing its 5th game in 6 days. It has still put itself in a position to win. Only 2 points down, 10 seconds remaining. Let's see what transpires.
It's the ball screen from Teo. It's guarded by Tenario. And Ocampo.
The Chinese player drives, the referee blows his whistle, calls the foul. Ranidel De Ocampo says, what foul? I didn't even touch him. But still, the referee blew his whistle. Great example of self-regulation, self-control, of emotional intelligence on Ranidel De Ocampo's part. Why? He could have easily gotten upset, shouted at the referee, gotten the ball, thrown it down in anger. He would have gotten a technical foul, given 2 free throws, plus ball possession to China. Then this game is over. We would have lost. But instead, Ranidel De Ocampo simply does this. And as you can see, he is looking at the bench, he's looking straight at me. And I remember I gave him this sign. This is our sign for next play. Next play. Emotional intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, gives us the ability to go, even if we run through some problems, even if the referee makes a bad call, the emotional intelligence gives us the ability to go next play. Next play. And I'm sure you will agree, the more chaotic things are around us, the more important it is for us to have that peace and quiet inside of us, that there is stimulus and there is response. Emotional intelligence and mindfulness allows us to elongate that space in between so that we can step back and make a better decision, preventing us from making those impulsive decisions that oftentimes we regret. This is the hallmark of emotionally intelligent people. The ability to step back. And how do you do it? Just the way we started this talk, by doing breathing practice, mindfulness exercises. That gives us the ability to go next play.
Clearly fouls. FIBA Asia Cup. Misses the 7. Wang.
And sure enough, China misses its first free throw. And as the Chinese player is preparing to take his second free throw, we are now faced with a must-get possession. I mean, in case of a miss, we must make sure that we secure this all-important rebound. The problem is, it is a guy 7'3". This guy is playing in the NBA right now. Here's another 7-footer from China. As against only our 6'9" Japet Aguilar, 6'10" Marcus Doughty, we are overmatched in size. In situations like this, when we are faced with the must-secure possession, an all-important rebound, how do we make sure that we put ourselves in a position to grab those all-important rebounds? We do that by what we call
Making a 3-point.
gang rebounding. Take a look, we've got all 5 white uniforms inside the shaded lane where all those possessions are won or lost, against only the 3 red shirts from China. Dear leaders, as you go towards the third quarter of this year, as you go towards the second half of the year, do you have the ability? Take a look at all your people. Do you have all hands on deck? Are you gang rebounding? Is everyone inside the shaded lane where the action is? Or do you still have people in your team who are just scattered around the periphery? They're not really invested. They're not really all in. I submit to be able to, in this future of work that we're talking about, we need people who are all in, because we need all hands on deck. We need to have everyone all in. Are you, as you take a look at your team, are you gang rebounding? By gang rebounding allows us to do this.
Game. Misses both.
How is it possible for LA Tenorio, all 5'10" of him, to get the rebound in the face of these 2 7-footers? This is an example of our speed and our quickness. In other words, our agility. But that agility was made possible because we were first all there, gang rebounding, and now we were able to take advantage of our speed and our quickness. In other words, our agility. And as LA Tenorio gets the basketball,
Aguilar gets it to.
he is now pushing into what we call our transition offense. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get to the other end before the other team gets set up. Take a look at our big men. Rani Del De Ocampo, Japet Aguilar, Marcus Doughty. What do you notice with their position, with their posture? They are in a sprinter's crouch. They've got their arms poised. Look at their legs, their feet. They're all bent. They are churning. They are in a dead sprint. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get to the other end, to the offense before the defense gets set up. We want to get there before the other team does. This is speed to market. An example of our agility, our ability to transition from a defense to offense, our ability to transition from a standing still situation into a running start. Dear leaders, take a look at your team today. As you are about to embark on the second half of the year, what is the stance of your people? Are they in a sprinter's crouch? Are they ready for action? Or are people in your team, they are just standing there, legs are straight, parang namamasyal sa lumita? I submit the year, especially in this time of uncertainty, where we have to be very fluid, ready to pivot. We've got to be in that sprinter's crouch. We don't have to be standing straight up, and then when something happens, and then we're going to crouch, and then we're going to move, then it might be too late. But when your people are in that position, and you yourself as a leader, you are in that position as well, then you're giving yourself an excellent chance to get there before the other team beats you to the other end of the court. And as LA Tenorio pushes the basketball,
Mario's at the races.
he is bumped by the Chinese defender. Body check. I mean, take a look at that. The Chinese defender bumped LA Tenorio so severely, lifted both his feet from the ground. That's a clear foul. That's a body check. Clear foul. Sa lakas ng pagkagabang angat yung parehong pa ni LA Tenorio in a clear foul. But the referee does not blow his whistle. Again, great example of emotional intelligence in LA Tenorio's part, because he could have easily just fallen out of bounds with the ball. So then the ball goes to China, then this game is over. But more than just emotional intelligence, this is a great example of resilience on LA Tenorio's part. The ability to continue to play on. You see, we teach our people, we are not going to get every call from the referee. We're not going to get every break in the ball game. But that does not mean that we should stop playing. Resilience demands an ability to play on regardless. And how do we build resilience? We build resilience by our practice habits. Because you see, we find ways in our practice to make our practices more difficult than the actual games. In our practice, we have 5 men on offense. They're guarded by 6 defenders. We take away the air in the basketball to make it more difficult to dribble during practice. We don't even practice with referees so that our players are not used to the sound of the whistle blowing. And they just continue to play on. Dear leaders, what are your practice habits? Because practice makes permanent. Practice doesn't make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice poorly, you will be permanently poor. And so that's how we build resilience. We find ways to make it more difficult so that in situations like this, even if the referee does not blow his whistle, LA Tenorio continues to play on. What is he trying to do? He's trying to make this pass. He's trying to make this pass to his teammate. And how is it possible for a player caught off balance in mid-air, falling out of bounds, to still make that pass? He made it because his teammate, Paul Lee,
Down the floor.
put it upon himself to make sure that he is at the right place at the right time, in a show of dependability, great teammanship on the part of Paul Lee. Dear friends, teammanship demands that we are in the right place at the right time, so that when we have a teammate who is falling off balance, he knows, LA Tenorio trusts that when he throws the ball, he's got a teammate there who will catch it. As leaders, oftentimes, that's what we need to do. We should keep encouraging our people, go, take risks. We want them to be creative. We want them to be innovative. Of course, they will make mistakes. It is not possible for us to be an innovative company and tell our people, but do not make mistakes. That's not possible. But as leaders, we have to tell them, go and take risks, be creative, be innovative. And when that happens, I have your back. That's what great leaders do. So that our people, they trust, they know that they've got leaders who are there to say, what happened? What did we learn from that experience? What can I do to help you to make sure that doesn't recur again? And more importantly, for us to tell our people, take a shot again. The next time, shoot again. We do not want players who are trigger shy, who are gun shy. If we want to drive innovation in our organization, we must encourage our people to take a shot. And when Paul Lee catches the basketball, he knows exactly what to do with it.
Lee lines it up. It's foul on the three-point attempt. He's going to go to the free throw line with no time. They take the fake. They all land on him. Got him by Eki Artao. Not sure which one he's called. It doesn't matter. Paul Lee.
And take a look. How is it possible for a player to perform under excruciating pressure? Check this out. 0-0 seconds left in the shot, in the game clock. Your team is 2 points down. The weight of an entire nation, 100 million Filipinos riding on your shoulders. How is it possible to perform under such extreme duress? We do that by our approach to pressure. I know some leaders will say, don't even think about pressure, it doesn't exist. I don't agree. On the contrary, we tell our people, our players, yes, pressure is there. You better accept it, embrace that pressure. Acknowledge that pressure. When Maria Sharapova entered her first Wimbledon final on the morning of the championship, when she woke up, there was a text message on her phone from Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King told Maria Sharapova, champions take chances. Pressure is a privilege. That's our approach to pressure. We tell our players in Gilas, yes, the pressure is there. You are Gilas. You've got Pilipinas across your chest. Of course, there is pressure. Eh kung ayaw nyo ng pressure, doon kayo maglaro sa Interbarangay. Ladies and gentlemen, you are S&P Global. You are the best at what you do around the world. Of course, there is pressure because what you do matters. You're not some sari-sari store sa kanto. You are S&P Global. More importantly, by your dedication, your service, your sacrifice, you have put yourself in that distinct privilege of pressure. Cherish it. Embrace that pressure. And that's what I tell our players. Embrace that pressure, but then focus on what's important now. And for Paul Lee, what's important now are two things. The first thing is he's focusing on is his breathing. He is using his breath to down-regulate his heart rate. Because you see, an expanded heart rate affects your shooting pulse and affects your ability to make shots. And my belief is that relaxed shooters are good shooters. In the same manner, relaxed leaders are good leaders. Relaxed salespeople are good salespeople. So that is the first thing Paulie is focusing on. He's using his breathing, just like we did at the start of this talk. He's using his breathing to down-regulate his heart rate. The next thing he's focusing on are his mechanics. His footwork, his balance, his timing, his release, his follow-through. Dear leaders, how are your mechanics? And I like to always remind people, don't just be proficient, don't just be solid, but be absolutely brilliant at the basics. Those are the things that Paulie is focusing now that allow him to do this.
Is it a game he'd want to forget? Now has a chance to win it. Makes the first. The crowd trying to do everything they can. Lee for the tie.
And I love this picture. I mean, take a look at that shot. That's a picture of what a real team looks like. Take a look at these guys. They're just as happy. They're just as invested as the people who are on the court, and they're not even playing. Bangko nga sila. But that's a team, ladies and gentlemen. You see, teams are comprised not only of the frontliners or what we call the superstars. Teams are composed as well of the rock stars. The rock stars are the behind-the-scenes people, perhaps the support system, the support staff. The rock stars are the stabilizers. The rock stars are the people without whose efforts the superstars cannot get the job done. And the teams that work with one heartbeat are when the rock stars and the superstars work not only towards one direction, not only towards one objective, but when the rock stars and superstars work with one heartbeat, then you have a championship team. That's a team, ladies and gentlemen.
This to win the bronze medal for the Philippines. Bronze medal for the Philippines. They've never, ever lead in the game.